Welcome to Workshop 1, Planetary Boundaries. The first section we're going to talk about today is taking a planetary perspective, or what we might call limits to growth. In our unit, we're going to take a look at sustainability that puts the planet in the center. This quote here, sustainability defies the hierarchy of our thinking in business schools by placing the environment, not the economy or even society, at the center of our understanding. And this comes from two scholars, Wright and Nyberg, who are Australian critical scholars. We're going to jump off from this point because I greatly admire their work. And one of the perspectives that we are going to take in this unit is this idea of critical thinking about what's going wrong in our decision making. And one of those things is we're forgetting to put the planet in the center because there are limits to the resources of our planet. In 1970, a group of scholars got together and did some predictive modeling around it centered on population growth at the time, but it also considered agricultural production, non-renewable resource depletion, industrial output, and pollution. And what they came up with was this book called Limits to Growth, basically saying that the Earth's interlocking resources, which is the global system of nature that we live in, probably cannot support present rates of economic and population growth much beyond the year 2100, if that long, and even with advanced technology. So they suggest that we act now because the challenge of overshoot problems from decision delay is very real. Carl Sagan is a famous sci-fi novelist. He wrote I, Robot and Contact, two fantastic books, but is also a physicist, a scientist, and very well respected. So in 1985, he testified before the US Congress explaining how global warming worked, explaining why it was happening, and explaining what we had to do to avoid catastrophic outcomes. So we knew all this about global warming, about fossil fuels 50 years ago, and we chose not to act on it. There's a concept called the Great Acceleration, which describes the growth of so many things that occurred from 1950 to the year 2000. It comes from the work of Will Steffen and many other people, and it's this, what you might call the hockey stick graph. What they said was that many human activities reached takeoff points sometime in the 20th century and have accelerated sharply towards the end of the century. The last 50 years have without doubt seen the most rapid transformation of the human relationship with the natural world in the history of mankind. This is called the Great Acceleration. And here's a graphical picture of what we've achieved in a positive sense in the Great Acceleration, like literacy rates, life expectancy, women getting the vote, girls being in school, child cancer survival rates, access to water and immunization, access to the internet and electricity coverage. And at the same time, the same shape of graph is also shown in terms of things like airline flights and climate change and land deforestation, etc. So while we've achieved many things, it's had a huge impact on the Earth, and not just a big impact, but an accelerating impact. The Anthropocene is the idea that humans have more impact on the Earth systems than any other thing in the world, including Earth systems themselves. So anthro meaning human impact. And it's been proposed as a geological epoch where the Earth actually has recorded this change coming out of the Holocene, which has been a very stable period geologically, into this new era where humans are the most impactful being, whatever, on the planet. It is argued in geological circles. It hasn't been accepted by the International Geologist Organization, whatever they're called, but it has still entered our everyday lexicon in terms of, wow, welcome to the Anthropocene. Things are changing. And the important part of thinking about the earth in this way and the limits of the earth and putting the earth in the center and how we're having such an impact on the earth is that the way we look at things affects the way we make decisions. So if we can put the limits of the earth in the center of our decision making, then we can, as these authors say, rethink how we understand and organize our relationship with the living earth. And that's it for this section. I'll see you in the next one.